This is me pouring molten lead into a mold
Oh shit.
to test if lead really makes a better tumbler. You see, last week I was scrolling through TikTok sipping on my Stanley cup when I found out
It has lead inside.
I immediately threw it in the trash and started sadly drinking out of single-use plastic. But then I realized
There must be a good reason for them to use lead.
Remember when that Stanley cup still had ice in it after a car fire? Well, my theory is that the lead inside is what helps your drink stay cold. Why else would you add lead inside a consumer product that you drink out of? That's why I decided to make a Stanley cup 100% out of lead to prove that simply makes the better tumbler and test it
in the torture test.
Let's begin.
I started by designing the Stanley cup I'm going to later cast out of lead. The plan is to 3D print a mold in which I can pour silicone and which I can pour the lead. I even added a custom logo for my new brand, Stanley. Get it? Cause it sounds like Stan. I printed the mold overnight and woke up to a massive failure. So I printed it again. It took almost 2 days. Wanting to support my local business, I drove down to the hardware store to get some supplies. They didn't have any of the things I needed. Reluctantly, but wanting to support physical retailers, I drove down to Walmart instead. Yeah, somehow they also didn't have any of the things I needed. I went home and ordered everything on Amazon. Time to pour some silicone!
Welcome to the lab. Because of the coat. Anyway, so we got the 3D print. It's a little bit scaled down. I got a 2-part silicone thing from Amazon. This is obviously not for casting metal, but I found one review on Amazon. I actually make molds with it to make sinkers. I know my lead pot, so he melts pot. What? Alright, here we go. No going back now. Oh. I guess I'll just add them together. Oh, one is much thicker than the other. Alright. I think I mixed it real good. I should have prepared something for under this if it spills. Okay, I dumped out my trash can. Actually, time for the pour.
Here I'm tapping for bubble popping purposes.
One bubble popped. See you at 24 hours, I guess.
Welcome back. So here's the deal. When I was designing this, I kept in mind that I would have to extract the lead Stanley cup from the silicone mold. So I made the design all slanted, so it's really easy to do that. But now I'm realizing that that also makes this silicone mold really hard to take out of the 3D printed mold. Let's get started. Let's try, just crack it open, let's see. I should have printed this in much lower infill.
I proceeded to hopelessly try to tear the mold apart until I got some hopeful sounds.
Oh, almost there.
I wasn't almost there.
My thinking this will expand the plastic more than the silicone inside.
My thinking was wrong.
I think it's time to bring out the big guns. Actually more of a singular gun and also more of a saw.
Piece by piece I started sewing off chunks of my precious 3D printed mold, but eventually it worked.
It's the next day, and not gonna lie, the demolding was tough. I did have to make some major cuts in the mold itself to release the actual 3D printed cup from the inside. But that's not too bad. I got these like stainless steel zip ties. So let's try zip tying this. I don't know how it works, but it works.
Zip tie by zip tie. I gotta stop with these voiceovers.
So I guess the only thing that's left to do is pour the lead.
I set up a slightly janky melting station in my parking space complete with lead bars.
Should be enough to cover the Stanley cup. I hope it is. I got 2 pounds of this. All right. Okay, I think we can start trying to add this in.
The lead was barely making any contact with the pan, so yeah, without a blowtorch, my first attempt failed.
Round number 2. It's kind of malleable, actually. Should have tried this. Let's try out the blowtorch. Oh, it's melting. Let's add the second bar real quick. Blowtorch helped, huh? I think we're almost ready to pour. It's time.
we got melting. Okay.
Fail. Big fail. Well, the mold leaked very badly. Let's see what we got.
Oh, it is heavy. There's something inside. Yeah, it just burst right through. Can you see the crack? Oh, not looking good. Let's see. Well, we got the bottom part of a Stanley Cup. See the logo? It's something.
After further inspection, the mold was basically unusable, so at this point I seriously thought I was done with the whole project and basically gave up. Until I didn't! I decided to work with what I've got and design a 3D printed holder for the lead top of my Stanley cup. And then I printed the out of it, along with a handle and lid. That all came together to create the most beautiful lead cup I've ever seen. The Stanley Cup.
Welcome to the desert! So this is the Stanley Cup right here. Stanley Cup, sorry. It's not 100% lead, but I'd say it's about 90% lead by weight. Now's the time we've all been waiting for. The torture test! On the right, we have a regular Stanley Cup. On the left, we have the lead Stanley Cup. And 2 cups of ice. Going to fill both with the same amount of ice and leave it in the desert sun for an hour. Whichever one has more ice at the end wins. I'm gonna mix in some pieces of lead, some extra pieces of lead. Maybe that helps. Okay, we have the same amount of ice in both cups. Let the torture test begin.
I also blasted them with some fire to get things going, but it's so bright out you can't see.
First up, the regular tumbler. The majority of the ice is still there. The Stanley Cup. How much ice is in it after 1 hour in the hot desert sun? I'm opening it up. Oh no, oh no, oh. There's not a single ice cube in there. Does lead make a better tumbler? It actually makes a much worse tumbler. So, I don't know why Stanley Cup uses lead. Watch this next, please.